We are live and in full effect. Where are we? Tell the good people where we are, Jill.
I am so honored to be doing Facebook Live with one of my nearest friends now and mentors and colleagues and somebody I highly respect and adore, Dr. Andrea Pennington.
That's me.
And we are in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Merlin, as they say. Yeah. Hey, Ingrid. Glad you're watching. Don't know who's watching over there. So yes, Dr. Juicy Jill Stalker flew in to Merlin because we had a book signing. What's up, Erin? Thanks for joining the party on a Saturday. I don't usually go live on a Saturday, do you?
I don't know.
So Jill came in from Hollywood, California to celebrate the launch of this baby, her first book signing for Time to Rise. And we were hosted by the lovely Sister Dr. Jenna from the Meditation Museum for the launch of my book, I Love You, Me. So I am in the United States with my girl, Juicy Jill, and we are, I don't know what mischief we're going to get into today because, well, you know, that's what happens when two girly girls get together. And
if you only knew what happened when we're not on live. It's very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I wanted to, it's probably not as juicy and as exciting as you would think it would be. Being so close to the District of Columbia, to, you know, hot mamas while the kids are away and we're free to play. No, but
But that's okay. That's okay, and that's part of, you know, what we're here to talk about too, is it's okay to have the downtime where it's not super exciting and dancing and, you know, the downtime is necessary to recharge our batteries so that we can be our best selves.
Amen to that. And I'm all for being our best self. So we're going to go meet up with a new friend that we've met here on Facebook as well, Dr. Tandy. So she's in town as well, and it's just perfect timing. So we're going to the Tea Spot in Washington, D.C. But I'm excited that we have a chance to actually be live physically in the same space to talk about this baby right here. It's funny because when we did the book signing with Sister Jenna at the Meditation Museum, I was able to share that, you know, I've been doing this for a while now, sharing my truth. Little by little, it started off with that first TED Talk that I did in Monaco. And the way that we connected was you saw me because we have a mutual friend. What's up to Dr. Mike Carragher at the Body Well in LA, and we connected, you know, through him. And then you saw one of my videos where I was talking about my experience with depression and how I came through that experience to be here smiling today.
And I'm so grateful for it because, you know, what I had just mentioned too is you may think that we have these glamorous lives and do glamorous things all the time when we're here. And sometimes that's, you know, that is the case. But we're also real people that go through real things like depression and divorce and hardships. And I think sharing that it's important that we do have downtime to take care of ourselves, where it's okay if your weekend is spent all
in your pajamas?
In your pajamas.
Like me?
That's okay. Because I think there's so much pressure on people to, when they see everybody in the media, you know, looking, you know, all polished and doing fun things and traveling and this and that. There's a lot of, oh gosh, I'm not doing that, and I'm not, you know, and then it becomes an I'm not enough and my life isn't enough, and those things are necessary as well, and sharing our stories and sharing the fact that, you know, yeah, we do spend time in our pajamas and watching movies and that stuff, that's okay as well.
That's my preferred weekend activity. Yeah. You know, but it's true. I think people can often look, obviously we look on social media.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, Gita.
Hi, Gita. Hi, Catherine. And Camilla too from Denmark. It's easy for us to look on social media especially when people are posting all these fabulous pics and their great meals that they're eating and blah, blah, blah. And you think that they must have a fabulous life all the time. And heaven knows, I don't even try to fake the funk. I know I don't have a fabulous life all the time. I just do my thing. But I think the other piece that's been really inspiring about your journey, especially because it's happened so quickly, is you just owning your story. Because I think for me it took a few years of just being so open and vulnerable about what I experienced. But it came pretty quickly because other people were telling me, oh wow, I had postpartum depression as well, or oh, I had anxiety, but I hid it from everyone and no one ever knew. So as soon as I started to get feedback from people, it gave me a lot more confidence. But yours was like the fastest transformation I've ever seen.
But I owe that to you sharing your vulnerability. And like we just talked about last night, I remember that first time I was watching you. It's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm literally in bed, in my pajamas, having my coffee, kind of just trying to wake up. And I see that she's on live, and she wasn't perky. But
I'm
that's
not
okay.
Always.
No, that's okay. I needed to see that. She was just talking so real, and you were just exposing your depression. And I thought, oh my goodness, she's a doctor and she's sharing this, and not once in my head did I think, oh, that's weak, or she's not very credible. And I just was so excited. You said my name, when I was on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just kind of lit up, and to be seen is, and to actually be heard is one thing, but then, we mirror each other. And when I hear my story, I hear somebody else telling my story, I feel like, oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can share. And so much of my life I had been shut down and had not really shared, and because I thought that would make me not so credible. And I noticed that the more I would put little pieces of myself in there, in just talking with people in general, with my patients, that I would see them light up too, like, oh, she gets it, because I've been through depression, postpartum depression as well. So it was so amazing to see that, and that's what enabled me to kind of step forward and do it. And it's uncomfortable to start having feelings and expressing them, and not always being pretty and polished and having a good time. But I think the more of us that share, hey, it's not all glitz and glamour. Like, we go through these rough patches too, where we're actually gaining information too. It's not taking a step back, because a lot of people will go on retreats and things like that, and they feel, oh, I'm making all this progress, and then they might hit a wall and realize and think, oh, here I am again. And it's just all energy clearing, all of it coming up, and it's all okay. It's just different waves, different vibrations.
Exactly. But that's also part of the human experience. And I think one of the things that happened for me was just coming to terms with recognizing that my little fantasy in my head about what life would be like, after college, after medical school, after getting that job, it's like you come to realize that it's not that we can't still be idealistic. What's up, Margareta? Good to see you. But we can be idealistic, and then at the same time, there comes a moment where you kind of have to be realistic. And that doesn't mean that you shoot away your dreams and your aspirations, but it's just recognizing that on this human journey, we're going to do the ups and the downs. There are going to be moments. And the more that we can just accept that that's what life is as a human, the sooner we can get to just giving ourselves that compassionate break and permission to stay in your pajamas. Yeah. Did I see somebody over on your... does Gita want to come on live with us? I thought I saw the ability to do that on yours. Maybe not. So what's up, Camilla? What's up, Margaret? What have I done? I think I just took a picture of us or something. Messing with the iPhone. So Gita Winter is also on with us, watching on another page, and she's one of the contributing authors to Time to Rise. One of the things that was so cool about finally letting you get to meet one of my spiritual mentors, which is Sister Dr. Jenna at at the Meditation Museum, and Sister Jenna wrote the foreword to this book, which still I'm so touched and I'm so incredibly honored that she did. But when she hosted the book signing for us, they played that audio from Oprah Winfrey's acceptance speech for the Golden Globe ceremony. And, you know, just recognizing that more women and men around the world are actually... Just get this notification on my phone. I was given a mandate to have fun. It's like one of my dearest friends, my godmother, she's like, what are you doing? Like, working? No, you need to go out and have fun. That's your self-care. That's your self-care guidance for this weekend. So that's why I have on lipstick and I did my hair and I'm going out to meet Dr. Tandy. But anyway, so I think it's just amazing that at this moment, you know, I couldn't have timed this better, the release of this book, any better than what happened, where we see so many powerful women coming forward and sharing their voice, and other powerful women lending their celebrity status, like Reese Witherspoon, like Oprah, like so many other women in Hollywood and beyond, who have said, time's up. We're not going to tolerate mistreatment of women anymore, and we're going to support women as they share their voice. Because what I noticed for myself, and I know you and I have talked a little bit about this, but I noticed that that long period of time where I hid my story from... It's not that everybody has to share their story. I'm not saying that. I titled my talk, Owning Your Story. Because I was denying myself to even express how I was feeling, I wasn't owning the fact that I wasn't happy. And you can't really make a change in your life until you're willing to accept that where you are kind of sucks. And I think that's what I'm grateful, that there is this energy shift going on the planet where we're finally willing to say, I'm not going to tolerate this negative treatment anymore, and I'm not going to tolerate the fact that I've gone years with a miserable life. Life doesn't have to be rosy all of the time, but we deserve to have more happy days than not happy days, especially for the ones where we have the control, in terms of just owning the fact that this is my life. Mm-hmm. I want to express it in my way. That doesn't make us selfish. And it doesn't take away from our roles as caretakers, as moms, as entrepreneurs, as family members. It just means that we can nurture and care for ourselves. We can honor our voice and get the same respect back from others. Because I feel like the strength that I have now in owning my story, which I never thought I was going to... Never thought this was going to become part of my business. I'm hosting a radio show, Liberate Your Authentic Self. It wasn't my vision for the future. But owning it has given me the comfort and confidence to do whatever I want, and most importantly, the things that are most aligned with my soul. And so hearing from you and hearing from other people that has also set them free to live their truth, that's what I want us to get to. So you don't have to share every dark, dreary detail of your life, but it's owning your story for yourself. Because when you own it, that's when you reclaim your power as the author of your life story. Which means you can change all of that negativity that we carry around in our head, right? Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the things that you mentioned is, you know, so many powerful women are sharing their story. Anybody that shares their story has power.
Yes.
And it's in sharing that vulnerability that there is strength and courage and power behind that. So, you know, even if you don't have a title behind your name or anything like that, you know, opening up and sharing that with others, and owning that story. The other thing is just acknowledging the story, because so many of us have this kind of like soundtrack in our head of, well, this happened and this blah, 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 and everything's kind of put into a box as far as an emotion about it. And especially as doctors, you know, in medical school, I literally remember being told to, could you please go proclaim that person dead and tell the family? And that was, I mean, There was no training on like, okay, not just how to talk to the family, but then what do you do with that afterwards? It's kind of, it's traumatic. So you learn to put things in a box. And so there's so many life events, even just, as a child. And so, acknowledging it for yourself. And sometimes what I have found is I do have this soundtrack, but when I say it out loud and I share my soundtrack, it's a matter of fact to me, what I get back, that mirrored response or acknowledgement of, oh my gosh, that was horrible. Like I realize that I haven't even acknowledged that myself.
Yeah. Because we have to, especially as women, and as you said, as doctors, we feel like we have to keep it bottled up because we got to keep going. And there is a moment where you start to say, okay, I just don't want to face this right now. You kind of push these heavy moments, these heavy decisions, and these heavy experiences to the side so that you can keep on keeping on to get through. But yeah, so this time right now is, in my opinion, it is our time to rise. It's our time to, it's not just about clearing the slate about what's happened to us, but that is the first step. By sharing your truth and owning your truth, even for just yourself, that's what's going to allow you to start to dig deep and find those resources within you, that resilience within you to create a life after. So there's the life after, which will be the next next book series that I do. So this group book has been amazing, but the next one is really going to be like, how do you rewrite your life after a traumatic experience? So, I shared at the book signing that I wanted people to be able to pick up this book and thumb through it, and any one of the stories that you read, you're going to find something that touches you and inspires you, but most importantly, it reminds you of your own potential within you. Because if it's within at least one human on the planet, then that means it's also within you. And so by sharing these stories of other people who've literally been to hell and back, and not only have they just survived, but that they are currently thriving, I think that's the biggest message that I want to share with the world, is that this stuff is in you too. You have this potential as well.
And it starts with self-love too. This is a very timely book as well. Learning to love yourself, it seems simple, but I promise you, this is something I just learned how to do this year. And when the first time I ever looked in the mirror to say that to myself, I love you, me. It took me a good at least 1 to 2 minutes to be able to say it. And I saw myself well up in my eyes.
Yeah.
And when I saw that and I realized, oh my goodness, how am I looking at myself in the mirror, and how am I judging myself? If you can't, love yourself and know how to take care of yourself, how is anybody else going to be able to know how to do that? But we are mirrors.
Yep. Yeah. So I think a lot of people talk about self-love, and it's what I'm inspired by this book, finally, is I've been sharing this 5-step process for years. I worked with clinical patients using the same framework, but now to be able to share it with the world and then to guide people through with master classes, and Dr. Juicy Jill has stepped up and said yes to being a part of the Real Self-Love movement. So, woo woo! So definitely check out realself.love. When you go to realself.love, you will certainly see information on the book. And if you buy the book, I made this $2.99 for the Kindle, so there's no excuses. And Amazon has made the Kindle version readable on every kind of device, even if you don't have a Kindle. But so this book and getting the free bonuses means that you get access to videos and masterclasses and the Real Self-Love Manifesto. Because my vision is we'll bring together all of these voices, these other experts, these other people who've learned to love themselves. And by sharing in this global community, it's exactly what you said. You realize you're not alone. You're not alone anymore. No matter what was going on in your own family or at work or at school, whether you were bullied or accepted or you've just been hiding, by being part of this global community, you realize there are people just like you, and we are mirroring to you that you are divine and perfect and whole, and you are lovable just as you are. And then you get to be in this space of love and connection, like genuine love, without all the drama and expectation, so that you can really experience that sense of, wow, okay, I'm lovable, even if I didn't do anything, even if I haven't like gone out and achieved something, because my love, the version of love that I thought was love, was all based on accomplishment. Like I felt like I had to earn love. And if I didn't do anything and someone told me they loved me, I was like, how can you love me? I didn't do anything. You know? And that was because I didn't think I was lovable. And, you know, so there it is. So I'm excited that Jill will be a part of the Real Self-Love movement. She will be sharing her experiences, and not just on the love of self mentally, but how do you nurture your body? How do you reclaim your right to a juicy life and to pleasure and to vitality? Part of it starts with absolutely getting your hormones in check, which you got to read her story in Time to Rise. And there's Romeo. Salut, Romeo. Romeo Cournal in France. He's also one of our authors in Time to Rise. So I think you'll find that there are so many ways that you can get to this point of loving and accepting yourself, owning your story, so that you can then move out into the world, living as your authentic self, living in alignment with your soul, with your passion, with your values, setting boundaries. You know, we were talking yesterday about boundary setting, because so many of us who give and love and we want to take care of everyone else, we need to learn how to set boundaries, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know what I did.
Well, and boundary and learning to express your own needs, and what's and you know what you've talked about, what your God-given needs are. When you come out, you know, one of the things that they talked about the other night was, you know, you enter the world alone, you leave the world alone. And, you know, so self-love is so important, because at the end of the day, the loudest voice you hear is up here. So if you can get out of here and actually just, you know, even if it's messy, if it's like, you know, I just am feeling this, and start talking. And it's amazing how sometimes you'll find your very answer once you start talking about your discomfort. It'll just kind of make sense after you're out of your head. Or somebody says, me too in a good way.
Right. Well, guys, we have to go. We have a hot date with Dr. Tandy at the Tea Spot. It's called Calabash, apparently. I thought it was literally called the Tea Spot.
I did too.
So get your copies of one of these books, or both of them. I Love You Me and Time to Rise. They are both available wherever you want to look for books, iBooks, Amazon, online. And we will also be doing more events here in the United States, where we are today, and abroad in the UK and in France and in Denmark and in Iceland and quite possibly in the Netherlands. So we're global, baby. We are excited to connect with you.
And tell us what you want to hear about too. If there's anything, you know, that's you're having a hard time with, you know, put it out there. Let us, you know, we can talk about everything we want to talk about all day long, but if it's not what you need to hear about, it's not necessarily helping you. So, but everybody needs love. So right. Self-love is. So
we're sending you tons of love from Maryland, right near the District of Columbia. And have a fabulous day. Have a fabulous rest of your weekend. Much love.